Brian from the Disability Digest with some information about Social Security disability hearings, what to expect, how to prepare, and how to win. First of all, I hope you don't have to go to a hearing, or if you've already been to a hearing, I'd encourage you to listen to this. Unfortunately, about 144,000 people a year are reviewed, and they have to go back through the approval process and are unsuccessful at keeping their benefits, and typically those have to go back to a hearing. So there'll be benefit for you there as well. On the thumbnail or the image of this video, there's a picture of Michael Sexton, who does great work for us with the individuals that we choose to represent here at the Disability Digest and getting them approved. And you're going to get an extensive, in-depth interview access to that at the end of this video, but I'm going to hit the highlights. First of all, for disability hearings, the recent numbers from Social Security are that 70% of the individuals that go to a hearing do it via phone now. And the approval rates from our experience are as good as, if not better, than they would be if you went in person or did one of the video options. So if you haven't decided on your hearing type, hopefully that will be helpful. So a few things that will help you out before the hearing. I do encourage that you review the judge. We have a How to Prepare for Your Disability Hearing course here at the Disability Digest. It gives you access to that information. It's not like you can influence it, but you can, with the resources that we have, go look at judges, get comments from others that have been there, some of the things they like, some of the things they don't like, and their approval percentages. So it's always good to know what you are up against. You are going to really be asked questions about your medical and your work history. So understand what you have put in your case file, because some of this you have put in when you first applied and you may not be familiar with it. So make sure you are aware of what's in your case file from those two perspectives. And if you're working with a representative, which I hope you are when you go to a hearing, at the other levels, initial and reconsideration, we teach you all how to do it yourself. But I just know the deck is totally stacked against you. I have met 8 people in my almost 2 decades of doing this that have been successful at going to a hearing without a trained professional disability representative. But there's countless others that have attempted it and have been unsuccessful. I should have that number, but I don't. So the day of the hearing, the judge is going to be in the room with you. You're going to have a vocational expert that's going to testify what jobs might be available that you could do. And you may have a medical expert as well as your representative team, attorney, non-attorney, that will be with you in that team. So that's what goes down in the phone environment. They conference everybody in, and away you go. If it's in person, then it's a bit more obvious. So one of the keys here I want you to understand going in is what you need to prove, and it's different for individuals that are under 50 versus those that are over 50. If you're under 50, the degree of difficulty is much higher, because the Social Security regulation is such that you need to prove that you cannot do any job in the U.S. economic system, like a greeter at Walmart, parking, garage attendant, anything like that. Not even like you wouldn't, it doesn't matter if you want to do it or not, or really if they're available the way it's set up right now. It's just the way it is. If you're over 50, then the premise of your case could be on your prior work history, like what you've done in the last 5 years. And there's some variables in there, but it does get easier, because it's easier to prove that you cannot be a nurse if you've been a nurse for the last 5 years, or an over-the-road truck driver if you haven't done that in the last 5 years. So here's some pro tips for you. Know the questions that you're going to be asked. We can help you here as well as your representative. We went through and extracted from about 40 hearings the questions that different judges asked, and they're pretty much all the same within the same type of framework. So if you understand what those questions are, that'll take a lot of the, hopefully, uncertainty out of it. And then we also advise you on how you can answer those, how you should answer those, right? And your representative can work on this. So that's pro tip number one. You know what's going to go down, what to expect. It'll make things a lot easier. Good preparation with your representative. Each representative works differently. Some like to meet you or talk to you by phone 5 to 7 days before. Some like to have one 30 days out and then another one closer. So depending on your representative style, make sure that you are there and you're prepared for that preparation meeting for them. Don't minimize your conditions. A lot of people go in there, sorry guys, but I'm going to just call you out on this one. You know, they're all full of pride and bravado, and they don't want to clearly communicate their conditions and the severity of them. This is not a place to do that. And then the last pro tip I have for you is understand how to control your conversation. Like, answer questions very concisely. We've had experiences where individuals certainly qualify medically, but they just can't shut up. And they end up saying something that is going to be detrimental to their case. So just, work with your representative, work on your breath work, take a big breath in and exhale before you answer any question. That's just one simple tip that I can give you in this time that we have, so that you're at peace and know exactly what you're going to say. Try to keep it to a sentence or two or less, so you don't screw up and say something that you shouldn't. All right, so around this video, in the description, I'm going to put the link to the full interview with Michael Sexton. Check that out. For the other resources that I mentioned, like access to the hearing course and all that, you join us as a member. There's no charge. You'll get connected with an advocate here, no charge, and they'll put you into the disability approval course to that right section, so you get the information that you need. Now, if you're listening to this and you're just starting out or want to know if you qualify, same steps apply for you as well. So I hope you find this helpful in your disability hearing. I'd really like to hear your comments, like, yeah, it worked, and maybe we should do this, or I did this, or other tips that would be beneficial. Join us in the comments. As always, make it a great day.